All right, so we are in day 2 of looking at vertical shifts of functions. And remember, there are 3 different functions you're going to see. You're going to see the 3 functions we've studied this year so far, which are linear functions, quadratic functions, and exponential functions. In this video, I'm focusing on exponential functions. So the first thing I want to point out is we're going to be giving names to these functions. So I'm going to name the red function f of x, and I'm going to name the blue function g of x. The basic concept's pretty simple. We slide one function up or down to get to the other function. What's trickier is when we have to express this idea using function notation. So if I were to ask you to fill in the blank here, to get f of x to g of x, I would slide, and hopefully you said down 4. And I can show you that by focusing on the y-intercept. The y-intercept is a great point to focus on for shifts. So on this one, we can see the y-intercept goes down 1, 2, 3, 4. So I can shift the red function, f of x, down 4 to get to the blue function. Sounds easy enough. How do I say this using function notation? Well, you can think of it this way. We're going to take f of x and we're going to move it down 4. So remember, down 4 means we need to subtract 4 at the end. So when I take f of x and I go down 4, that means I get to g of x. So it looks like that. Now typically we see this written in the flip-flop order. So you might see it g of x is, so g of x can be obtained by taking f of x and sliding down 4. Now I could reverse this idea, and I could say, now tell me, how do I get from the blue function to the red function? Well, it's similar, but now since I'm starting at the blue and moving to the red, I'm going to be shifting up. So in other words, I would take the blue function, g of x, and I would slide it up 4, and that would get me to f of x. So notice now I have a plus 4 instead of a minus 4 because I'm starting on the blue and going up to get to the red. I could write this with f of x first. It would look like this. F of x is g of x moved up 4. So really pay attention to the function notation. Again, that's usually the trickiest part, as the basic concept's pretty simple. It's just learning how to write this and read this using math symbols.